Are here. Got a few minutes with Cal Ripken Jr. Thank you very much for joining us. Cal, it seems like the AllStar Game is a pretty interesting topic right now, and appropriate to ask you about that since it was just played last night. As you're watching the game, do you find yourself kind of reflecting back on your experiences? I know there are 19 of them, so it's quite a bit of reflecting, but kind of putting yourself in that spot as the young guy like a Mike Trout or maybe the veteran player like a Pujols. You kind of put yourself in that spot?
Those are two good examples. Mike Trout going in early on. Now he's a two-time MVP of the game already, and he's still very young. But I kind of thought about Pujols in a way. He was always there at the All-Star games, and then for a couple of years through injuries, and now he's back. And so to see him there with his kids and to see him performing in the home run derby was pretty cool. So yeah, I can relate, having gone to the game a number of times. But what I enjoyed most is there was a lot of first-timers in the game this year. And when you go for the first time, you don't know clearly what to expect. You're excited, and I just enjoy seeing the enthusiasm on the guys' faces that come for the first time.
What did you think of the new home run derby format?
I loved it. I was talking about it. It's gotten to a point when the home run derby was first happening, and I heard Ken Griffey Jr. talking about it, is they had 10 outs. And I won it in 91 where you had 10 outs and everything that you hit that wasn't a homer was an out. And so it seemed to go by pretty quickly. You were up there to swing and get through. Then over the years, people discovered that they can control it a little bit better if they start taking pitches. So it got to the point where, God, it took so long and everyone was taking pitches. So the time format really makes it it's advantageous for you to get more swings in, but you can't wear yourself out. You can call a timeout. I mean, there was all kinds of cool things that happened, but the competition and the drama that was set for the players, especially the ones that went second in the competition, the head-to-head, they could actually kind of gear up and come through in the clutch. So I thought it was a great success.
Speaking of reflecting, 20 years since 21-31. It seems like it's been that long?
In many ways, no. It feels like I was just playing a little while ago, but when I see pictures from that night, and I see how young my kids were. I think Ryan was 2.5 and Rachel was 6, I think. And now to see Rachel's going to turn 26 and Ryan's going to be 22, it kind of puts things in perspective, and it makes you realize, yeah, it's been that long. But I guess in many ways it just seems like it was yesterday, and I was just out there in a uniform playing. So it was a wonderful night.
How's Ryan doing? I know he's in the Nats system.
Yeah, he had a ankle surgery, so he hasn't physically gotten off to a very good start. But he is rehabbing down in Florida right now, trying to get back into baseball shape. So hopefully he'll get a month of the season into play. But he's grown physically, he's grown mentally, and just getting used to the grind of pro ball, which is a challenge for everybody.
Congratulations on being one of the franchise 4 for the Orioles on the Mount Rushmore with Brooks, with Frank, with Jim. I mean, do you kind of step back, even for everything you accomplished, and say, wow, that's pretty impressive company?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to put myself in that company. I grew up watching those guys, and especially Brooksy was my hero. And it was so important for me I made my debut in the field at third base, and I was standing on the same ground that Brooksy occupied. And so it was really sacred for me. So when I think about it, I was lucky to have a long career, and I did well. But I don't really look at myself in that same category. Those guys were my heroes.
What do you think of the current team, 44-44 at the break?
Well, I mean, they're at 500, and I remember it was sort of magical when you stayed right at 500. You were in a position to get better as the second half went on. I remember thinking my first Oriole team that was capable of winning 100 games. In 82, we were just kind of moving around, right around 500, but deep into the season. And I kept thinking, how in the world do you go 40 games over 500, win 100 games? But then the team continued to get hot and played better. So the Orioles have had some injuries. They've kind of gone through the first half, and I think they positioned themselves pretty well. But the key to any successful season is, do you get better as the year goes on? And Buck Showalter's teams do.
Buck is supposed to be here tonight. How important has he been to this franchise?
Well, I mean, we had a little drought, and where we weren't looked upon as the best baseball organization. And since Buck has come back and restored, that competitive spirit, manages the game extremely well, has all the guys believing in themselves. And sometimes you can have the talent, but you don't believe in yourselves and you don't get the results. But it's wonderful to watch. The expectations for the Orioles now is that they need to win. And they ran away with the division last year, and they weren't too much of a different position than they are right now. So I look forward to the second half, and they'll get better.
Does he remind you at all of Earl? Because that comparison is made all the time.
Well, I mean, Buck is unique. He's a great baseball guy. He's passionate about it. Every small little detail he's way into. And over the years, he's continued to get better and better at managing people, especially the young guys. He almost seems like a father figure to some of those guys now. He protects them. He's created a really nice culture and a nice group of guys. So it's fun to watch.
Al, thank you very much. Appreciate it.